One of the questions that I get asked all the time is, how long did my wife go without drinking? What's the longest period of time that she went? And this brings up a lot of issues, to be honest with you, because the longest time that she went out was really when she was pregnant with our son. That would have been back in 1999. He was born in March of 2000. So that 9-10 month period was really, in our entire 25 married life, was the longest that she went out. And I'm sure she snuck a glass of wine in there too at some point, but that was by far the longest period of sobriety. And during her first, our son's first 1 or 2 years, she really went long periods, maybe 3 or 4 months on her own. And she was able to do that because, like anything, this period in her life, she had really reinvented herself. She had this new role as a mother, so she took it upon herself. And she was very involved as a mother in the early years. She was a very good mother. She read to, when he got a little bit older, she read to him every night, as we both did. It was all part of our daily routine. And I think it took her out of the alcoholism for a period of time. And again, a quick note, if this is the first time you're seeing me, this may not make a whole lot of sense, but my thread rather, this page is all about alcohol use disorder, and a lot of it is stories about my wife who passed away a little over 4.5 years ago. The other longest period, really unfortunately, was when she was incarcerated. She spent 65 days in jail for both her third and fourth DUIs, which happened 2 weeks apart, and she actually got a year at the time. But they didn't keep her in. They ended up only for, I guess, overcrowding, and they gave her an ankle bracelet, and I guess she got probation. So she was under house arrest for another 6 months. Unfortunately, she could get out up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which was crazy. I thought, what's the point? I mean, if you can still go out in the world, and of course, that's the hours that I was working, and she just go get alcohol. So she was literally underneath house arrest, drinking herself oblivion in her own house. That was her longest second period, was when she's incarcerated. Or, of course, when she went to the rehabs, and she went to 7 rehabs, the longest period there would have been about a month and a half, because she never really went more than 2 or 3 weeks outside of a rehab because she didn't do the follow-up work. She didn't do the all-important group therapy work and the accountability part of it. And that was ultimately her demise. And as a result, the only pin that she ever got in AA or any kind of group therapy was a 30-day pin. That's really officially the farthest she got once she tried to get into recovery. And I think part of it was just she never really wanted to quit. I mean, it comes down to that. I can remember asking her, and it was very poignant. It was kind of the way I reacted. Do you think and I remember asking her, do you think you could ever stop drinking so that you never drink again in your life? And she would either not answer that question or just say, no, I don't think I can. And it was an honest answer. And she was being honest, because ultimately this is what took her life. So if you have somebody in your life, or if you recognize that in yourself, and you can't get through any period of time, you really need to think what it's doing to you and be aware of that. This is really talking about being aware that if you can't go 60 days, if you can't go 90 days, if you can't go 2 days, you got a real serious problem, and you really need to reevaluate what's going on with you and your life. And you want to make sure it doesn't get too much further, and be aware of how it's affecting the people in your life, not just yourself. And the thing is, I know this sounds very fundamental, but the way to escape and to get alcohol use disorder into recovery is you need to separate yourself from the alcohol. And you need to make that division as far and long as humanly possible. And you have to be able to use all the tools available. That's what group therapy is about. That's what recovery is about. That's what accountability partners are about. Sober living, detox, rehabs, AA, Smart Recovery, LifeRing, Women for Sobriety, local organizations. That's what naltrexone's about, Antabuse, any of the blockers. All these tools that are available are designed to take the alcohol, and make sure those don't come together. And that's really, at the end of the day, metaphorically and in reality, that's all you're trying to do. Just get the alcohol out of your life for as long as humanly possible, and really, ultimately, The goal is forever. And again, when you're ready to work with me one-on-one and get yourself and your family aligned on the same page to the path of sobriety, click on the link above in the link tree. Go to the Calendly account, set up a Zoom call. The call is free. The course, of course, is not. It's very involved. I want to know about you and do a deep dive and make sure you're a good fit. Also, we have the Facebook group called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. I go live every day, Monday through Friday, right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And again, thanks for listening.